Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for the collective for November 2022. And then we're going to break it down for each life path number. We're also going to take a look at the illuminations, the full moon, the new moon that's occurring throughout November, including the major eclipse that we have at the beginning of the month. We're going to break that down for your individual life path number as we move through the reading. Before we get into it, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personal reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I will be getting out the 2023 year ahead forecast for each life path number sometime in November. But this is a great time it's a good time anytime, but it's a great time at the end of the year as we're gearing up to start a new cycle, a new year, to get your own personal year ahead forecast. If that's something that you're interested in, that will dial it down into your own personal numerology chart and the cycles that you'll be moving throughout 2023. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can book some time with me on my website and we can take a look. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So November is a 17-8 universal cycle. So for some people, you may see things come to fruition or rewards come in for things that you may have began back in December 2022 or December 2021 or January 2022. So if there's some things that, if you can kind of look back to that time frame and see if there was anything significant that transpired in your life, whether it was some kind of closure, whether it was some kind of new beginning, it's a new inspiration, whatever, and it could be something that you've been sort of working on throughout the year, you may see things or new insights come to fruition at this time that tie back to that period. For some, you may see things surface for you around those same similar themes that came up for you back then that either can be repaired at this time and built upon, or because we also have some very strong eclipses in November, or a strong eclipse in November, right? So things that resurface now may need to be dealt with and closed out more permanently. So I kind of see this as it's possible that someone or something may resurface that's sort of tied back to December 2021 or January 2022, that now you're able to get some solid closure on and sort of move forward from holistically. So emotionally, physically, whatever. That's very, very possible. And you may see that come in very, very strongly around this eclipse that's happening November 8th. Okay, so the energy of the 17-8 is going to really ask us to be very truthful, both with ourselves and with others at this time. So where are we maybe self-sabotaging ourselves or overindulging ourselves? Where can we move closer to our true alignment that's not based on fear or desire? So neither of those extremes, but rather integrity, confidence, and our inner inner knowing. So where have we sort of avoided having the difficult conversations with others because we didn't want to maybe rock the boat, even though by not doing so, we were creating unnecessary inner turmoil, right? So it's like we wanted to save or spare the feelings, the emotions of that other person, but in doing so, it created a storm within us. And so this energy is going to ask us to be very honest with ourselves about where in life we show up in that way and where we need to potentially respond or take action in a different way in order to get different results. Because the truth will always rise to the surface, right? One way or another. So, and it can be incredibly uncomfortable when it does that, because we know what the truth is, we know what our truth is, but a lot of times we'll suppress that again to accommodate or to be in service to other people, right? To not rock the boat. This energy can feel very raw. It can feel very much like sort of digging at a wound that is trying to heal, but can't heal because we keep digging at it, right? And so it's that kind of energy where it's like the truth is going to come to the surface, and it's going to keep coming to the surface until sort of we deal with it, we clean it up, and we allow it to heal in an appropriate way, and then we move forward in a way that's more truthful for ourselves, right? So again, this can feel like very raw. This can feel very like sensitive energy, very emotional energy. But it's ultimately working to get us to our own truth, right? Our own autonomy, and to be able to show up in that way, even if others don't understand, even if others find offense to it, or, are turned off by it because they're not getting what they want out of the situation any longer. We have to get to a point to be, to be most in alignment with our own energies and our own journey. We have to sort of follow our own truth, right? And that truth is never going to physically harm someone or intentionally harm someone, because it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's about ourselves, right? So this energy is kind of getting to that core, getting to the truth of the matter. And I would also say that with this energy, if there's anything that's sort of been hidden behind the scenes, done in secret, that has a potential to come to the surface now as well. So if you have been doing something behind someone's back, or again, in secrecy, and there's not a lot of integrity behind it, maybe, right? Like, this isn't a moral judgment, you do you, but just know that this energy will sort of bring out the truth of a situation, so that it can be dealt with, right? Because if, let's just say, for example, you're having an affair, it's not that there's anything necessarily wrong with the action, like you doing what you want to do with that other person. The harm is in doing it behind another person's back type thing without full disclosure, right? So it's like, you know what I'm trying to get at. It's like, you can be with whoever you want to be with, but if that process is harming another intentionally, right, or you're aware of it, chances are that's going to come to the surface, so that what's best for the highest good of all can come to the surface and be dealt with. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this energy is not about moral judgment. It's just about bringing things to light, bringing things out in the open, so that all parties can move forward in a way that's most healthy for all involved. So again, 17.8, the truth is always going to rise to the surface one way or another. And this energy simply asks us to be the one to bring it up and to honor it with ourselves and with our interactions with others. So this energy can bring up a lot of self-doubt as well. Irrational fears and superficial irritants can come to the surface now to help us to sort of delve much deeper into the true I am within. So throughout November, before we get into Sagittarius season, we're in the sort of depths of Scorpio season. And so this is all very much Scorpionic energy, right? Or I would say in numerology, it could be seen as like 13.4 energy, where things are like really being, there's a deep dive, things are coming to the surface to be worked through, the truth is coming to light. There's a lot of emotional, deep psyche excavations, right? And so again, it can feel raw, it can feel highly sensitive, it can feel emotional as we move through it. And as we, again, delve much deeper into the truth of who we are, at the true I am from within. So this energy helps to sort of lift the veil of illusion and clear the cobwebs so that we're able to see much more clearly what is or what feels true for us, and what sort of is more made up stories by the ego to protect us from something that we don't need protection from, but rather we're meant to explore. The ego is a really good trickster in that it will sort of create stories in the sort of guise of protection, but in reality, it's putting up a wall because we don't want to feel what we're meant to feel and explore what we're meant to explore in those inner depths. So the energy of the 17-8 can bring about more sort of mental vitality and sort of open a channel to the unconscious to help us to solve problems that we've been working through. And more than likely, those solutions will sort of call us to move outside of our perceived comfort zone, further into unknown territory. And it's through that exploration that we will, of course, then become more familiar with that new landscape, right, of ourselves. So this is very scorpionic energy. Like this is very 13-4 energy. This is very much about going into the inner psyche, going deep, getting to the truth of the matter, our own truth of the matter, as well as, like I talked about earlier, truths coming to the surface that may have been hidden from others, right? Like, or that we're trying to hide from others, or that others were trying to hide from us. Those coming to light, whether we want them to or not, to be dealt with, so that everybody in this situation can move into a higher frequency. If they choose to. With this energy, we can be asked to take risks now that we wouldn't normally consider doing. So this is like sort of that giving us the confidence and the courage to do those things we wanted to do, but couldn't find our why, or couldn't find, again, sort of the extra oomph to talk ourselves into it, to be able to do it, right? So again, maybe the ego was coming in with stories about why we're not worthy, why we're not good enough, why we're not ready yet, that sort of thing. That's a good one that the ego likes to use, is you're not ready for this yet. Who do you think you are, type thing. And so then we refrain from stepping into whatever it is we're being asked to step into because we feel like we're not ready for it. When in actuality, typically when the opportunity comes in, it's because you are ready, right? We are ready. So this energy could also bring new people and relationships to our doorstep. Many of these people have something to offer our experience, which I would say is pretty accurate with everybody that, enters into our awareness or into our experience. These people, though, specifically can offer some form of assistance, potentially, or a missing puzzle piece that we've been searching for. So be open to the people who feel significant this month that you cross paths with. And again, this could be somebody from the past that cross paths, or that we see in a different light, or there's a new aha moment around this person, whatever. And also I go back to what I talked about earlier, which is it's also possible that someone from the past resurfaces, especially someone from, again, maybe that time frame of December 2021 to January 2022, that resurfaces, that is really surfacing now for final closure. That's very, very possible. But there's also the possibility that through that closure, or if you don't have anything to close out, that someone new or some new people come in now who can really assist you or assist us, I'm in this equation as well, in a really big way. And again, it's sort of like that missing puzzle piece, the aha moment that this person can bring, or these people can bring, that we've been sort of searching for. So be open to the people who feel significant. Be open to asking for assistance, whatever assistance you feel like you need at this time, right? If you've been hitting a roadblock, if you're struggling with something, this is going to be a beautiful month to ask for that assistance that you need, and then be open to receiving it. Also, you yourself may be unexpectedly asked for assistance by someone, right? So someone might come to you in need of something, or you hold the key for something, or you hold the missing puzzle piece for someone. And so if somebody comes to you for that assistance and you feel holistically capable of giving them that assistance, right? Body, mind, spirit, whatever, then this is a beautiful energy to do so. And a great opportunity for positive exchange of energy through that action. So the help that you give and or receive under this energy can sort of spark the feeling of hope within self and within others. So this can be just a truly incredible, beautiful energy, and you can be a big part of that. You can be a key player in that. So you are the star of the show under this 17-8 energy. So you get to decide how you want to use the warmth of that spotlight. All right, well, let's get into each individual life path number now for November. Life path number 2. So I pulled an animal spirit message for you all for November, and you got octopus energy. And so with octopus energy, there is this energy coming through about like calm, clarity, control over your emotions, self-compassion, and composure. So this could be a very sensitive month for you. We talked about that sensitivity in the intro, but this could be very much so for 2s. Now, naturally, or a big part of the signature for 2 energy is hypersensitivity, right? Until the 2 is able to sort of work with their own emotions and have that emotional maturity, right? Like a lot of times 2s, as they move through their journey, can be very reactive as opposed to responsive. And that's just, through their experiences and through the lessons that they learn, they find ways to sort of manage that sensitivity, not eradicate it, because it's such a key component of 2 energy. It's such a gift. But 2s sometimes can really internalize other people's energies, other people's emotions, to make them their own. And that can really sort of derail a 2. And so I think that there's going to be potentially opportunities this month for you all to, again, like have experiences where you can either be reactive or take some time to think about how you want to respond, and not take things or not internalize things in a way to where you end up hurting yourself more than you should be, right? So there is definitely a call here just to say this could potentially be a highly sensitive month for you all, but it's asking you to really get in touch with your emotions, to work with your emotions, to find ways for you to best work with your emotions, right? And so that you can find your own composure and your own, and be in control of your emotions as opposed to your emotions being in control of you. Because again, emotions, we all have them. They're not going anywhere, but we always get to choose how we sort of react or respond with those emotions, right? Like that charge, we can either channel it into something positive that works for us, or we can just be reactive and just blow shit up, right? So this energy is just reminding you that you are the only one that has any control over your own emotions and how you react and how you sort of participate within a situation. So with octopus coming through, just reminding you of that if this month feels very sensitive for you. Okay, so what's interesting is for the actual month of November, the numerology, you all are working with 1 energy. So I see this, and this can feel sometimes like push-pull energy for 2s, because the 1 energy is asking you to be decisive, to step into your power, to step into your own self-knowing, your own autonomy, to not always take into consideration what other people need, but to first and foremost take into consideration what you need to be able to fill your own cup and all of those things. So I do feel like for you all, there will be some opportunities for you to step into your power, to stand your ground, to voice your concerns, to voice what it is that you need, to be decisive in a situation, even if it rocks the boat, and to, like we talked about in the intro, to be very honest with yourself and with others, and from a place of self-knowing and your own identity, right? Where you're not being overly influenced by others, but your inner knowing, your own truth is what's influencing your actions, okay? So a lot here about identity, about self-empowerment, stepping into power, using your voice, being decisive, using discernment, all of those things coming up for twos in November as you work with this one energy. Now for you all, it's also interesting because then you also have the eclipse coming up on November 8th, which is going to be asking you to work with 9 energy. So with the 9 energy as a cycle illuminated by this eclipse, this could bring in a lot of, again, closure, things coming to fruition, tying things up in a nice, neat package, where it's like you've done everything you can do with whatever this is, and now it's completed, and you're sort of moving on to the next thing. This is also energy where you're not meant to necessarily force things or overly control things. Instead, you've already sort of done the effort that you need to do for whatever is coming up now. And so it's more about just falling back into sort of receptivity with whatever this is and allowing the things to come to you that you're meant to work with or you're meant to experience now. This is about like sort of releasing the control and allowing those things to come to you. There's also something here about working in the community more, working with others more in a more like humanitarian way. There's also something here, excuse me, about forgiveness, releasing judgment, whether that's with yourself or with others. A lot coming up here around eclipse with that. So this can very much be focused on relationships as well. If there is a relationship or a situation that you felt sort of wronged you or, it was an injustice or something like that, this 9 energy at the time of the eclipse is asking you to release that, to find a way to start the process of releasing that energy. That doesn't mean that you have to take that person back or have them in your life or whatever. That just means that energetically you're finding a way to release that burdensome, heavier energy, right? And only you will know what works for you to be able to do that, but not using that energy to beat yourself up or hold yourself back. Let's see. And then the new moon that's occurring on November 23rd, you all are working with 6 energy. So a lot could be coming in for you around this new moon with new starts, new ideas, new initiations, new people coming in that have to do with your home life, your very close-knit community or your extended family. So very close friends, very close family, that sort of thing. And again, very close-knit community. So like if you're a part of a church or part of an organization or something like that, those people that are a part of that you feel close to could be coming into focus now around this new moon for some kind of fresh new start. New ideas coming in, or again, new people surfacing around that situation. For some of you, this could be like finding out that you're pregnant or going to have a baby or having a baby, starting a family, that sort of thing is very possible around the new moon. This could also be like kickstart to changes in your finances that affect your home, or like even in like an inheritance or signing a contract or an investment or something like that will affect the home. This could also be about like changes to the home like that you initiate. So fresh coat of paint, changing your furniture around, that sort of thing is very, very possible. People could move in or move out of your home. Family members could move in that need assistance, that sort of thing. Because it's also a very like nurturing energy, which also I will say, I want to go back to the one energy that you're working with in November and octopus energy, which is telling you that yes, you know, you need to show up for these people the best that you can, if you're capable, but you have to make sure that you're setting healthy boundaries, that you're being discerning and like what you say yes to, what you say no to, all of those things, right? So just before you commit to assisting or helping others this month, especially, make sure that you're capable of doing so. Make sure that you're emotionally, physically, spiritually capable of showing up in the way that they're asking you to show up. Because if you're not, it's just going to feel burdensome and it's going to lead to resentment. So just be really mindful of that. And people may not like when you set those healthy boundaries. And so it's important that you don't become reactionary if they become reactionary, right? Like you're able to set those boundaries, hold those boundaries in a very emotionally mature way. So lots of energy this month for you all in standing up for yourself and using your voice in setting healthy boundaries while finding ways to also show up for others and to help others and nurture others and do things that twos are so great at, which is again, like bringing people together and the counselor and just seeing things from a more objective standpoint, like the outside looking in type thing without getting emotionally involved. That's a big one as well. So I hope it's a beautiful November for y'all twos. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.